Can that old man even scroll his name properly? The sharp voice of a young clerk rings out, dripping with mockery, as he points at an elderly man with trembling hands clutching a pen. The laughter that follows is a gut punch, an outrage, that sets your blood boiling. This man, humiliated before an indifferent crowd, is a forgotten hero, a veteran who braved wars to protect the nation. Brace for a story that will ignite your fury, and then warm your heart with the power of an epic redemption. What begins as a scene of cruelty transforms into a movement that shakes a city, rekindling respect for those who gave everything. This isn't just a tale, it's a call to justice. Picture an elderly man, worn by time, standing in a packed public office, gripping faded papers. He is James Thornton, a veteran of 80 years, targeted by a young clerk's cruel jab. Think, Grandpa can even hold the pen? The laughter stings, an unjust taunt against a man whose hand saved lives under gunfire. This isn't merely a story of insult, it's an epic of resilience that sparks outrage and soon admiration, as one man's quiet strength reshapes a community's spirit. The stage is a municipal office in 2025, where fluorescent lights flicker and voices clash in a symphony of impatience. James, in a threadbare coat adorned with faded military pins, navigates the chaos to update his veteran records. His steps are slow, deliberate, each one a testament to a life of service. The clerk, Nathan, oozes arrogance, his pristine uniform contrasting with James's worn attire. Handing over a clipboard, Nathan's smirk reveals disdain. "Sign here, old man," he says, as if the task were a privilege. James settles into a corner, where dim lighting blurs the fine print. His eyes, once keen in battle's haze, strain to trace the form. Snickers ripple through the staff. "Bet he can't spell sergeant," one mutters. Another chuckles. "Looks like he's doodling." James remains unmoved, his pen moving steadily despite trembling fingers. He's here for a routine errand, not to prove worth. Yet this moment is the spark of a reckoning that will echo far beyond these walls. James's mind wanders to 1968, a scorching desert in Kandahar. Bullets whistle as he hoists a wounded comrade across his shoulders. The weight is crushing, the air thick with dust and fear, but James presses on, driven by duty. That same resolve anchors him now, in a different war, against indifference. The office, with its icy bureaucracy, is its own battlefield, where veterans like James are often forgotten. Each jeer from the staff is a reminder of the neglect many endure. But change is nearing. A single act of cruelty will ignite a movement, turning shame into a beacon of respect. This narrative, told through glimpses of valor and sacrifice, reveals the power of one man's dignity. James Thornton, with his silent endurance, is poised to deliver a lesson that will resonate across this city. Prepare for a saga that begins with anger but blooms into hope, as a veteran's legacy transforms a community. The office clock nears. Noon, its hum drowned by the clamor of restless voices. James Thornton, clutching his completed form, approaches the counter. Nathan, the clerk, accepts it with a mocking grin. "Put your name there," he says, jabbing at the line with theatrical flair. As James signs, his hand quivers, and an ink blot mars the page. Nathan leans forward, sneering. "Is that a signature or a scribble?" His colleague stifles a giggle, amplifying the insult. Decades ago, in 1968, those same hands steadied a dying soldier in Kandahar's chaos. Under a hail of gunfire, James dragged his comrade to safety, his grip unyielding. Now, those hands are ridiculed, their strength dismissed. Ignoring the taunts, James finishes signing and asks calmly, "Anything else needed?" Nathan seizes the chance to jab further. "Maybe a handwriting lesson," he retorts, sparking laughter that slices through the room. The crowd begins to notice. An elderly woman nearby frowns, her disapproval clear. A suited man narrows his eyes, sensing the injustice. Others, lost in their phones, remain oblivious. A kind-faced woman, spotting the faded medals on James's coat, feels a pang of sorrow. She stays silent, but her gaze questions the lack of defense. Outside, a flag snaps in the October breeze. Inside, James stands tall, his lined face etched with untold stories. A faint scar on his jaw, a relic of combat, goes unnoticed, as do the worn ribbons on his chest. James seeks only to complete his task, not demand reverence. But the clerk's scorn turns this errand into a trial of patience. Each chuckle echoes the disregard veteran's face. As he waits, James recalls a vow made in Kandahar, to never let disrespect break him. Forged in war's crucible, his dignity is his armor. Now, under harsh lights, it shields him again. A faint sound of boots approaches, ignored amid the din. The air grows tense. This office, steeped in routine, is moments from becoming a stage for justice. James, serene yet resolute, is at the heart of a story about to unfold. Unbeknownst to him, an ally is near, ready to turn this moment of cruelty into a triumph of honor. The clerk's laughter fades as heavy footsteps echo. A towering figure in a pristine military uniform strides through the door. General Marcus Langston, adorned with gleaming insignia, commands instant silence. Ignoring the stunned cue, he halts beside James and snaps a crisp salute. "Sergeant James Thornton," he declares, voice resonant. "Saved 12 lives in Kandahar, under relentless fire. I was one. The impact is seismic." Nathan's face drains of color, the clipboard slipping from his grasp to clatter on the floor. His co-workers freeze, eyes wide with shock. The room falls hushed. James, composed, meets Langston's gaze. "Didn't expect you here," he says. Softly, Langston's lips twitch. "Didn't expect them to forget you." Turning to the room, he adds, "This man owes you nothing. He's earned our gratitude." James's thoughts flash to 1968, kneeling beside a bloodied Langston in Kandahar. Bullets scream past, but James whispers, reassurance, dragging the young officer to safety. Duty drove him then, as it does now. Back in 2025, a flustered manager stammers, "General Langston, we're so sorry," but he cuts her off. "Fix this culture," he snaps, gesturing to James's papers. "He paid for these rights with blood." Langston fixes Nathan with a steely glare. "That signature you mocked is on commendations for valor. It's on orders that saved men in chaos. It's on reports from 3 extra tours while others rested." His words carve through the silence. He retrieves the clipboard, placing it firmly on the counter. The room, once apathetic, is riveted. An elderly veteran stands, saluting James. A former sailor mutters honor and nods. A young man, perhaps a Marine, rises quietly. James rests a hand on Langston's arm. "It's enough," he says gently. Langston shakes his head. "No. They should know." He points to James's coat. "Those pins, faded by desert suns, tell a story you ignored." The manager vows reform, but Langston's focus is James, their bond forged in battle. The office, once a place of scorn, now hums with reverence. A moment of malice has birthed a tribute that will endure. The office, still reeling, transforms. James Thornton, in his tattered coat, is no longer invisible. Marcus Langston's defense has shattered a cycle of neglect. Where indifference reigned, respect now stirs. The kind-faced woman wipes a tear. The suited man offers James a firm handshake, wordless but sincere. Others, once distracted, now watch with guilt and awe. In 1970, James returned from war to no fanfare. He tucked away his medals, fixed engines, and raised a family. Bravery to him was duty, not display. Now, In this office, he's thrust into the spotlight, not by choice, but by necessity. The manager pledges a review. Nathan, humbled, stays mute. Langston hands James a card. "Call if you need me," he says. James nods, seeking no fanfare, only resolution. But the moment has grown beyond him. Within days, the story spreads. A leaked security video of Langston's speech goes viral. James, standing proud as Langston salutes, becomes an icon. Veterans share the clip, captioning it. His silence spoke volumes. Former soldiers visit the office, offering quiet support, painting walls, sorting files, guiding peers. The shift is palpable. The office mandates training on veteran respect. Nathan, reassigned, posts a public apology. James returns, not for forms, but to gift a folded flag. "Keep it where it's seen," he says. The new clerk, Reverend, agrees. Langston revisits with James. Media swarm, headlining. One man's stand restores a city's pride. A photo, James with hand over heart, Langston saluting, hangs above the counter, captioned, "Heroes don't boast, but they deserve our ear." The change ripples outward, touching lives and policies, as James's story begins to reshape a community's soul. James Thornton's story ignites change. In 48 hours, the county commissioner calls a meeting. The verdict: a veteran priority, program for public services. Schools, clinics, and offices now offer dedicated lines and trained staff. The reform honors sacrifices long overlooked, turning James's ordeal into a catalyst. In 1970, James waited hours in a military hospital, only to learn his records were lost. The frustration lingered, but he vowed to honor the fallen by aiding the living. In 2025, that promise shapes progress. The city, once apathetic, becomes a model. Nathan seeks atonement, volunteering at a veterans clinic after his transfer. Rejected twice, he persists, earning a temporary role with ex-soldiers' support. A photo of James sits on his desk, a daily reminder. Langston feels the wave. Messages flood in from troops citing mistreatment. His reply becomes a rallying cry. If we fail our veterans, we fail our nation. He pushes for national reform, and the Veterans Affairs Department probes delays and disrespect. James's city leads the Veterans First initiative. Locally, schools invite James to speak. Hesitant, he tells Langston over coffee, "I'm no orator." But children's letters, adorned with crayon flags, sway him. He shares tales of loyalty, captivating classrooms. A filmmaker captures these talks. The short film, Echoes of Valor, wins awards and trains staff. James teaching a boy to sign, "It's your word," moves viewers. The county launches a document aid program. Volunteers assist with forms, and James oversees, quiet but vigilant. Asked about the spotlight, he says, "It's not for me. It's for us." His us spans generations of veterans, remembered and gone. 6 months on, the change endures. The Regional Veterans Affairs Director visits the city. In a simple ceremony, he grants James overdue benefits, back payments, full medical care. James accepts quietly, later adding the documents to a worn box of photos, medals, and letters. In 1969, James wrote to a fallen friend's sister, vowing their loss wouldn't fade. In 2025, that oath lives on. James visits the office monthly, sitting where he once struggled with forms. A plaque now honors him. Staff rise for veterans. Young troops greet James, sharing their tales. Langston writes, from the Pentagon, noting the Thornton Protocol, ensuring respectful veteran care. Media praise its reach. Nathan, now permanent, works diligently, arranging seats for weary eyes. The office displays local veterans' photos, selected by James, a Vietnam nurse, a Desert Storm pilot, recruits aid seniors with papers and visits. James's arthritis flares in winter, but no one rushes him. On Veterans Day, the office shuts, and all gather at the memorial. James and Langston attend, silent but present. Kids leave notes. "Thank you for fighting." James keeps each one. James Thornton's influence spreads. The Thornton Protocol, now national, redefines veteran care. Officials study the city's model. Media highlight it, but James prefers quiet chats with Langston, dodging fame. "You changed the game," Langston says. James shrugs. Just kept going. In 1980, James helped a struggling veteran with forms, asking nothing in return. That spirit inspires today. The office is a hub, its plaque replicated nationwide. Nathan, now a leader, credits James in talks with veterans. His essay on his change goes viral. Schools teach James's story. Kids visit the memorial, leaving pebbles. Teens build an app for benefits inspired by echoes of valor. The county expands aid with James guiding. "It's not me, it's them," he says, meaning all veterans. Nationwide, wait times shrink, forms simplify. The city shines in reports. Langston at the Pentagon quotes James, "One man who sought nothing taught us all." The words are etched in Washington. James continues his routine, tending the memorial, saving children's notes. James Thornton's tale is a milestone. A moment of cruelty sparked a movement, restoring reverence for veterans. His signature, once ridiculed, symbolizes a kept vow. In 2025, his city is a beacon. The office, now sacred, displays veterans' photos and the plaque. Heroes don't shout, but they're heard. Nathan, transformed, leads with purpose. The community honors its veterans with fairs and monuments. Kids learn sacrifices. Weight and echoes of valor inspires anew. Langston advances the Thornton Protocol. The fight against neglect persists, but James's story burns bright. In Washington, policies shift, and his city is a blueprint. James strolls the streets, greets neighbors, tends the memorial. His arthritis slows him, but his signature, careful, deliberate, affirms his truth. At home, his memory box holds photos, medals, letters, and children's notes. At dusk, he watches the city's flag wave. His story isn't his alone. It's the strength of those who serve quietly, the courage of those who face oblivion, the proof that one signature can change the world.